Hello, welcome to this video intended for Essential Math 40S students. We're going to look at calculating a monthly mortgage payment and also dig a little bit deeper into mortgage payments as we go. This is part of your home finance unit. This may be one of the first times you're at this website, so if so, welcome. So let's look at an example. So we have Bill just bought a house that cost $230,000. He had a down payment of $40,000. So if the bank offers him a mortgage at 4.5% for 20 years, calculate the following. So we'll start with calculating his monthly mortgage payment. Even before we do that, and I'm going to do this over on the side here, we need to calculate how much his actual mortgage is. The mortgage is the loan for the house itself. So the house cost $230,000, but he had $40,000 as a down payment. So when we take that off, which is what you should do first, you can see the mortgage amount is $190,000. That's what he's borrowing from the bank, and that's what he needs to pay back. That's what his mortgage payment will go towards. So make sure for the next calculation you're using the mortgage amount, not the value of the house. Okay, so let me put a line in here, and let's start with A. So his monthly mortgage payment. There isn't a formula for calculating mortgage payment. You need to use a table. The table looks like this. You'll see this in the back of your home finance booklet. It's at the time of recording this video, it's on page 37. If it's not on page 37, it's right close to there. This is your monthly mortgage loan payment calculator. You need these numbers to help you calculate mortgage payments because mortgage payments are very confusing to calculate month by month. This helps you know what a mortgage payment would be for the entire life of the mortgage. So let's head back to the example. We know we want to borrow $190,000. We want to borrow it at 4.5% for 20 years. So I'm going to go back to the table. I'm going to look for 4.5%, which I know looks kind of weird here with the extra zero on the end. They just do that so all the numbers align nicely. Okay, there's 4.5%. And then you look for 20 years. So you look at the intersection of 4.5% for 20 years, and you find the number 630. Now, if you know anything about mortgages, you know a mortgage payment probably is not $6.30 a month. That's $6.30 for every $1,000 that you borrow. So what we need to figure out is how many $1,000 chunks did he borrow. So remember the number 630. I'm going to go back to the slides. And just as a little note to myself, I'm just going to jot down here 630. Just so I don't forget that number off the table. So if he borrowed $190,000, he actually borrowed $190,000 chunks. Now how you can figure that out without doing that in your head is you take the amount of the mortgage and you divide it by 1,000. Now several times in this course you're going to be using a table. If you ever see per $1,000 like you do right here, that means you need to divide whatever you're borrowing by $1,000 before doing any other calculations with it. So that gives me 190 because he's borrowing $190,000 okay, to get $190,000. And then you multiply that by the number you found off the table, which is $6.30, because he needs to pay back $6.30 every month for each $1,000 that he borrowed. What you end up getting, which I've done on my calculator on the side here, is $1,197. That is his monthly mortgage payment. So then we'll just explore that idea a little bit more here with B and C. These are common questions you see both on tests and exams in this course. The next question is how much he will pay the bank back in total. You're supposed to calculate that. In total means over the entire life of the mortgage. What's he going to pay back to the bank? He borrowed $190,000. Let's see what he pays back. He's going to pay $1,197 even every month for 20 years, assuming the terms of his mortgage don't change. So he's going to pay $1,197 times 12, because there's 12 months in a year, So if I times that by 12, that's how much he'll pay in 1 year, and then times 20 for the 20-year mortgage. So he's going to pay this 12 times a year for 20 years. You can just multiply those all together in one big line, and I'm just doing that off screen, and I get 287. Oh, sorry about that. Let me fix that little glurp there. I get $287,280. This is what he pays the bank back in total. So the question might be, if he only borrowed $190,000 and he pays back $287,000, why is he paying back more than he borrowed? The answer is interest. You'd be hard pressed to find a mortgage in Canada where the bank does not charge you interest. If you can, jump all over that. But for most of us, you're going to be charged interest. Now this is 20 years of interest all built up, right? The question C says to calculate his total interest paid over the life of the loan, talking about for the whole 20 years. So that's a fairly straightforward calculation. If I take what he ended up paying back in total, and I subtract what he originally borrowed, because he had to pay that back. If he paid back $190,000 exactly, he would have paid no interest, right? He paid back more, so the extra is interest. So if I take away what he borrowed, what I end up getting is $97,280. That is the interest he pays. If you're in the market for a home, you can use this same table to at least estimate what your mortgage payment would be, and you can play with that a little bit before you commit yourself to one of the largest purchases most of us will ever make. So we calculated his monthly payment, what he paid back over the life of the loan, and the interest he ends up paying over the life of the loan. One last little note, before you're disgusted at this amount of interest, bear in mind that paying rent over 20 years is 100% interest. At least he, at the end of the 20 years, has a house that he can sell to recoup some of that money. If you just pay rent for 20 years, you get nothing in return after the 20 years. So don't let the interest throw you off. Okay, it's a lot, but if at all possible in your financial situation, it's usually better than rent. Okay, thanks for watching the video. Hope that helped.